I am worried I destroyed our marriage and it won't recover. This is a throwaway. I'm embarrassed and worried. I, 44 female, have been married to my husband, 43 mammal, for 15 years. We have 3 kids. My libido disappeared after our youngest was born 6 years ago. I don't know why. Things weren't any different than with the first 2. My husband was supportive of me and helped with all of the kids. He did not pressure me for sex, and we averaged once a month until the baby was 2. Then he wanted more. He talked about it a lot. I told him it wasn't him and that it was me. He asked about his hygiene, his performance in the bedroom or out of it as a husband and father, etc. It was not him, and I still don't know why I had a low libido. I rejected him a lot. Most times he was okay with it, but sometimes he sulked. He would talk about it outside the bedroom a lot though, and I dreaded the conversations because I did not know how many times I could not tell him I didn't know why I didn't want sex with him. We eventually started having sex 3 or 4 times a month, and I thought things were okay because he finally stopped talking about our sex life. Fast forward 4 years, and my libido really came roaring back this year, and I don't know why. I want sex 3 or 4 times a week now. He is not interested. I have to initiate any time we have it, which is about 3 times a month. He has rejected me a lot. He hasn't playfully touched me or tried to kiss me for months. Last night, I asked him why he wasn't interested in anything in and out of the bedroom, and he said he was not attracted to me emotionally or physically anymore, and that it's mostly emotional. He said he gave up after feeling he was doing most of the work. He went through all the things he did to work on himself to make me want him, like doctors, therapy and psychiatry, exercise, etc., and that he was just done. He would not say what he meant by done. I asked what he meant by physically, and he said that I dress like a slob and make no effort to look pretty. I went to our guest room and cried most of the night. He went to work early this morning, and I have not seen him. When we had our dry spell, I told him sex wasn't everything in marriage. He would literally cry out our sex life, and I did not understand why. I do now. I'm scared that it's too late and he has checked out. I want to know if anyone here has been through this, if things recovered, and what it took to recover. Now let's take a look into the comments. Well, here is my advice. 1, he went from an LL to a HL, so there is no reason why he can't. Give it time. As for the attraction, well, dressing nicer isn't a hard thing to change. I'm pretty sure most of us have dresses less nice since 2020, so you aren't the only one. Marriages work all the time. Just because you two have hit some bumps in the road doesn't mean you can't survive it. FYI, your husband didn't give up on the marriage when he was at his lowest and getting rejected. I suggest you do the same and keep trying. As for the done part, I have been there and I know what he means. He means he done trying to win you over. He's done making an effort when you weren't making any. Done doesn't mean he is done with the marriage, it just means he tired of putting in an effort only to be rejected again. Yes, so many times now, at least 30x, but it doesn't make a difference. I'm going to elaborate on this one more time so hopefully she can understand. She is high anxiety and constantly consumed with her own feelings. Nothing is completely one-sided. She knows I contemplated leaving due to all this, which only made her anxiety worse. But I can't keep masking how I feel to accommodate her lack of emotional control. Wow, it's been a minute since I've seen open truth like this quoted, and I know mind is the same thing you say you do. Most of the time it's just browbeat the guys, because God forbid if the man enjoys when his woman turns him on and he acts like he enjoys it. Not that there's not some other points being made, but it's refreshing to hear from a woman who is sure in herself and opinion. Initially the issue wasn't him, but you. I don't blame you, but just analyze what you've wrote. However, you did nothing to resolve this issue as you didn't see it to be a big deal. But it's not just physical limitations that hold you away from resolving the situation, but it seems like you didn't have a desire to understand your partner. Only now, when you switched places, you think you understood his struggles. But it still seems to me that you are quite egoistic in your thoughts/actions. You need couple therapy and sex therapy too, in particular. Now, both of you should be interested in rebuilding trust and relationships. Take your husband on dates, make him feel loved again, etc. Yeah, the poor guy clearly, though it was him, and spend time and effort trying to improve himself, only to still get rejected. The op broke his heart. No wonder he's not jumping in her bones now she's done a 180 dag. I can't fathom people who think their actions have no consequences. Now let's get to story 2. My, male 43, wife, female 40, of 9 years, has gotten into an emotional affair with the husband, male 47, of our close friends. Our friends are a couple, male 47, female 4 to 5, that have become close over the past 5 years. We both have daughters of the same age, 7, who are best friends. We hang out almost every week. We all have fun hanging out together. He is a fun guy, outgoing, charismatic. My wife and both our friends are big drinkers, more so than me, although I can hold my own. These interactions between him and my wife started off as playful, but has taken on this dimension in the past couple months that have started to really bother me. The innocent flirting has crossed the line with a lot of sexual innuendos and physical touching. It really started around her birthday a couple months ago. He, being an outgoing guy, said we should go out for her birthday, his treat. That is normal, but later that night, and I don't think she realized I could. Here, she said to him, "So I hear you want to take me on a date." In a suggestive tone, I was taken back and didn't really do anything, almost wanting to see if this continued. Then another time a couple weeks ago, my wife got her hair cut and colored, and when we were all hanging out, I happened to see her making eyes with him, curling her hair in a very suggestive way. When she saw me looking at her, her expression changed to one of embarrassment. I thought that she might have gotten the message that I did not like this, but it has continued. The other night, she was putting on lipstick on in a suggestive way in front of him. Then a little later extended her chest in front of him, and he made an offhand comment, clearly in reference/compliment to her breasts. Then a short while later, she gave him a hug while jumping up and down, rubber her breasts on him. This right in front of me too. My wife and I have had a pretty good relationship, or so that was my impression. I don't think anything more is going on, at least at this point. I had a trust in her, although this has severely damaged it. We're intimate, but since I have noticed this, I have lost interest and find myself becoming toxic towards her. We were able to get away from the kids for a few days over the summer before this issue started, which was great. When we got back, she bragged about how much sex we had on the trip to our friends, which now seems inappropriate. I also realize she has a drinking problem, not getting full-on drunk every day, but drinking every day, and it is clear she is physically dependent. I know I have to talk to her about both of these things, but I am trying to find a productive way to do it. I care about her, and she is the mother of our 2 young children. I am finding it difficult to not just be toxic with anger and resentment and don't want to just blow up on her. Update: I sat down with her and we talked this some. I told her that what was going on between the two of them needs to stop. At first, she was defensive and said there was nothing in it, but after going through the details, she apologized and said that she had been feeling lonely and was doing it part to get my attention. She said she would stop and that she does not find him that attractive, which I believe he is not all that physically attractive. It was to get me to pay more attention to her. That I spent very little time with her and seemed emotional, unavailable lately, which she had brought up before and I acknowledged. Due to various things, I know I have been closing myself in, feeling depressed and stuck. She is a great mother and wife. I know, hard to believe if you only know from the original post. I know she would not cheat physically unless things went totally to, because she knows she would lose me and the family. I am close to her parents too, and they would not tolerate that behavior. We spoke about boundaries and about making more time for each other. I know the past year 1.5 have been challenging for all of us. Relationships are two-way streets too. Thank you all for your help. Now let's take a look into the comments. So she has a drinking problem and she's flirting and rubbing and being completely inappropriate with another guy in your face. Op, what are you waiting for? To find them drunk sleeping together in your bed before you even address the issues at hand. Your interactions with neighbor are blatant and embarrassing. I need to know how you're going to manage this. I'm not interested in discussing your intentions. If you want to remain married, there will have to be serious changes. Yeah, I don't see the wife's behaviors to be in line with an emotional affair. Emotional affairs generally involve extensive communication and intellectual/emotional bonding. It seems like the wife is being overly flirty. I totally get why this bothers OP, but I also can see how the wife might just view her behavior and fun and goofy. Yeah, it might not be nearly as catastrophic as it seems, they need to sit down and talk. It could be as simple as her not realizing that a boundary was crossed and OP being hyper-aware of her actions now that it's bothered him. No way to know until they talk. Thank you for this. I agree. Given the challenges of the pandemic, working from home for past 2 years has worn on me. Feeling like I am stuck in a rut and sliding in depression, which I have battled earlier in my life. That has made me emotional detached to some degree.